Guys, my name's Deb, and I have been a tarot reader for about 8 years now. And I run a business called Awaken with Deb, where I help women embody their inner wisdom and bring their gifts and dreams and goals into reality. So today I wanted to talk about how to read tarot intuitively. And we don't need to memorize every tarot card meaning in order to read them for ourselves, right? So this is going to be about connecting with your heart, right, and your intuition in order to start to use these cards as a tool to help you come closer to your own, right, guidance rather than seeking it through other readers, right, or other outside sources, but really being your own inner guide and just using tarot as a tool to help you. So, tarot really is conversations with our inner wisdom. And so we're not asking the cards what to do. We're asking ourselves, and we're trying to really ground in our inner discernment, right? And what our heart and our bodies really want us to do to move forward, right? We usually go to tarot to seek out answers. And what we're really doing is wanting to come to meet our higher selves in that higher state of consciousness, right? On how to move next in the physical. Our higher self already knows, it's just our job to connect. And tarot can be a great starting point and tool while you're learning to build that relationship. So, first thing, our intuition is not mystical and it's not exclusive. So, our intuition is calm and quiet. So we think that we're going to hear or see these big things when really it's more like a whisper. It's more like a feeling. It's more like a knowing, right? And some of us may have um, more gifts of clairaudient where we may hear things or clairvoyant where we may see things. But for a lot of us, it's really just an inner knowing, feeling, or sensation. And so sometimes we can think, well, I'm not gifted enough to work with cards, or I'm not gifted in general. But really, it's just we all have different ways of connecting, and it's not really taught so much. Um, so know that if you're pulled and if you're watching this video, then you are meant, right, to learn how to work with these cards and come closer to your higher self and that inner wisdom that's always within, and just wants you to be able to tap in and to hear so you can move through life with clarity and with confidence, right? Okay. So, our intuition is noticing our sensations, feelings, emotions, images, or even memories. So, that's all intuition is. We're not looking right for those big fireworks or to see a ghost or some mystical, crazy experience. We're just coming home to notice how things feel in our body when we're present. And intuition, right? Like I said, everyone has it. So we all have this muscle, and it's just if we want to exercise it, like anything else. And I think for a long time, it was hard for me to move forward in my career as a tarot reader and as a medium, right? And as an embodiment kind of mentor coach because I didn't trust myself and I doubted myself a lot. And so know that when you're working with the cards, right, when you're working with yourself and your intuition, that it's going to take practice and it's going to take time for you to build that relationship. And fear will come in, but we'll get into that a little bit later on how we can kind of combat when the doubt comes in. So, yep, get stronger with permission and practice. And we want to really notice for those body sensations, emotional reactions to cards when they're pulled, and then that first impression, that gut, rather than second guessing and the doubting I talked about. So, before you start working with the cards, it's very important that you ground yourself first. And so I like to maybe rock my shoulders out, just a little bit of movement, and then come to a seat, make sure my feet are connected towards the earth. And I'll start to breathe in and to breathe out. You can also invite one hand to heart, one hand to belly. And again, find that breath, inhale, and let it go. And here we're going to ask, right, the energies of the earth to flow through us, the energies from the sky, and remind ourselves that we are safe, loved, and protected. Both of these energies meet in the heart. You are present, you are grounded, and thank you. Finding that big breath in, and then letting it all go. And then from here, we're going to want to ask maybe an open-ended question to start. So what do I need to understand right now? And you just start to pull a card. And there's no right way to pull a card. I kind of just shuffle them around. There's other readers who are better at like the shuffle aspect, but I just kind of grab the first card that I notice or kind of flows to me. So I got the Devil. So funny, I kind of had an intuition that I would pull the Devil while I was making this video. Right? And no card is bad. Every card is a teacher, and tarot is the story of life. And guess what? Life's not always pretty. So, open-ended question, what do I need to understand right now? I got the Devil. Okay. So before I want to go into what does this mean, I want to just observe. So what is drawing my eye in this card visually? So for me, it's kind of these two little guys down here. So that's something I'm going to note, maybe take a moment to allow my eyes to really fixate on what I'm drawn towards. And just take a moment to kind of sit with it. And noticing, how does this card make me feel? Right? I am noticing a little bit of anxiety coming in, right? What does that mean? So I'm noticing that. I'm here with my heart and my breath, but I'm not drawing to conclusion yet or interpretation, just observing. And what kind of story could be unfolding here? So that story of fear is coming up in me. That story of anxiety, of resistance, of chains, right? This is my intuition coming in. And that's okay. That's a story, right? Our stories don't always have to be real. I don't have to take them as truth. I'm just noticing and observing. So now, what I would encourage you guys to do is to journal. So a lot of emotions, right, come up when we observe. And so we want to jot all those down, and we don't want to bypass those emotions, because within them, we have a chance to be present with them, to feel them, and to actually let them go. So for me, I will journal about this after I have finished this video. But, right, with my experience with tarot, I can already see that I'm going to have to do a little bit of work of coming to clarity on some of these fears that I've been suppressing. And that will happen naturally in my own time, right? But at least I know, right? There could be some work I need to do to clear up some of these old wounds that could be leaking in to what I really want to bring in. And if I didn't pull this card, right, I wouldn't really know, and I'd be continuing to bypass unknowingly, right? but now I have the chance to do something a little bit different, which is really cool. Tarot as a tool closer to me. So only after, right, you're journaling and you're observing is when I want you to pull or look or reference the traditional meaning. This is going to give some validation, right? Okay, this is how I felt when I read the card. I've taken some time to process and to observe and to write it all down. This is the meaning I'm interpreting, right? That I need to work through some fears. And so when I go to the traditional definition of the devil, I'm going to match up, see if that kind of fits in. And it probably does in some way, right? And then I would have validation that, okay, I read that card correctly for myself. And when it comes up again, I kind of know where it's going to point for me, right? This is reading intuitively for ourselves. Support us on getting closer to our intuition, discernment, and decisions, right? On our emotional clarity. So remember that your wisdom speaks quietly. Tarot just gives it the language. And what I recommend, right, if you're wanting to work with tarot, if you're wanting to come closer to your heart and to your higher self, is to pull one card a day. And slowly you'll start to work with them and find yourself with more clarity and maybe a little bit more confidence, right, in your decision making and in yourself in general. So I hope that helped, and drop any questions that you have in the comments.